Hey guys, so I'm going to show you another Procreate tutorial. I'm actually going to show you kind of how I do this type of poster. I did this poster about a year ago. I made it into a really large poster for outside of my classroom. It's really fun. I might even redo it. So in Procreate, what you want to do is in your gallery, all the way back. So I have lots of folders, lots of different things in here, but up here is a little plus sign. Oh gosh, can you even see that? My iPad is so big, I can barely get it in my screen. So this little plus sign is gonna give you canvas options, okay? So you can do regular screen size, you can do a square if you want, if you like to work in squares, and lots of other options as well. I tend to stick with the screen size. Now, sometimes I do the square, but I obviously want the biggest canvas that I can have. So screen size fills the entire space. So what I wanna do is just pinch to make it smaller, just like you do when you're zooming in on something. So layers is really important to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it a couple times during this because this is where you can get really creative in the sense of layering things on top of each other. And especially for this one that I'm going to show you today, we have to make sure that the layers are correct. Layers I can talk about a little bit more on a different tutorial where you can really use a ton of different layers and make something really beautiful. But layers is important. If you know anything about Photoshop, you know about layers and how you should be using them, turning them off to see things, etc. But I'm not going to get too much into that. I'm going to delete my first layer there because I want to paint on this first layer and then move to my second. In Procreate, it is kind of frustrating because you can get to a max in layers. So you can merge the layers together by tapping the side here to merge them down, and I'll show you how to do that too, maybe in this one. But I've maxed out a few times, and it's kind of frustrating because I'll be working on something but adding a ton of things in to make it something new, and then the layers get too clogged up. So there is a max layer, and I can't remember what it is right now. It's a large number, but I definitely have reached it before. So also in Procreate, you get brushes. So I've only purchased some watercolor brushes, and I really don't even use them that often. So everything that's in Procreate, I just use straight out of it. I do have a lot of fonts. I bought those, and I'll tag her too because I love her fonts, and I'll show you how I use them, especially during this one. So I love the brush pen. I've talked about that before, or the script pen. You can also change the streamline in here when you click on it. This is so when I'm drawing, it's going really slow so I can make sure that I'm doing the curves the way that I want. So I do play with those a lot too, but I am going to go into the painting one today and do the jagged brush, okay? And there's tons of brushes here. It's really fun to just get lost in Procreate and play with brushes all day long. But I'm going to do this quickly. Now, the other cool thing about Procreate is your palettes button. So see this little guy right here is palettes, and it comes with some, these two down here, 3 come with palettes. Now I've made these other palettes based on what I like to use. I actually took a picture of the Uli pens that I got yesterday that I talked to you all about these. I took a really good picture of them, and then I just used those as this palette that I'm going to show you up here. So if I were to pull in a picture, I guess I should show you that. So over here, insert photo. So your little tool, your little wrench, add insert photo. Let's see if I have it. Yeah. So what I can do here is take your finger and hover and hold. Oh, let me get out of this. So undo that. Hover and hold over the color that you want. Do you see that little circle that just popped up is now a color? If I move it around, it changes, okay? So once I have that color, it becomes what I'm going to draw with. So then I would need a layer here, and then I could draw with that color. Now, if I love this palette, I want to make a new palette. So all I have to do is press this little circular thing, and the palette's down at the bottom, because it probably pulls up the disc first, and then press palette. And then all I have to do is tap right here in a new palette. You can add a new one. and tap, and that's where the color comes. And then I can go grab another color and then tap, and it becomes a whole new palette. So if you have taken a photograph that you love something, all the colors in it, this is the best way to get your palette in Procreate. So I do this also when I take a picture and I want the writing, let's see if I can show you that, to be the same. Like with this one, I added in all of these marker colors so it became a cohesive piece. Okay, so I just pulled the colors. Now if I want this little green, whoops, I just hover over it, hold on to it, and then it shows me that I used pink before, but now I'm switching to the green. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over here and we're going to delete this layer because I don't want it anymore. I could just tap it off, but I'm not gonna use that at all, so I'm just gonna slide to the left. So whoop, and then press delete. So now I'm gonna be on my first layer here and I'm going to just paint. I like to squeeze to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to delete that. Start with my red and I'm just going to make a rainbow. This is just to show you how I'm going to make that poster. Oh, let's say I made a mistake and I really don't like that line at all. Take two fingers, I take the two middle fingers and just double tap. Is it double tap? Yeah. Whoops, double tap. And you can release them. Now I can get them back by going over here to this little backward forward arrow. But let's say I didn't like that blue line. I just take my two fingers, hit it once. Yeah, it's just once. And then I can go back. Oh, I don't like that one either. So I can keep going. Now, if you're drawing a lot, I tend to click a lot of layers so I can make sure that if I mess up somewhere, I am only in one layer at a time and not the full layer, because it can be really hard to go back and change something when you've drawn only in one layer. And I can show you that too. But I have lots to show you apparently, and I am not a professional Procreate person. I just play on this thing and learn. Okay, so now I have my rainbow. Let's say that I want to fill the entire canvas and I didn't do a good job of that. So what I'm gonna do is go up here to this little arrow up here and grab it, okay? Now it's showing me that it's highlighted, so all I can do is I can pinch out or I can pinch in, okay? If I wanna make multiples of these, say I wanna make another one. All I have to do is now I'm gonna take 3 fingers, okay? And drag down. So all 3 fingers have to be on your iPad and dragging down. Okay, 3 fingers. Oops, don't grab anything. That's the wrong thing. And come down here and then I can do copy and paste. So I copy and paste it. It's going to give me the exact same thing. And now I have 2. Okay. So now it's going to show you up here in layers that you have copied and inserted another image. So if I turn that off, it goes away. If I want to keep it in there, if I want to add lots of these and make it really crazy, it's just going to keep adding inserted images. So I'm going to take it off. Actually, I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to stay in layer 2 and I'm going to grab it again. And I'm just going to push it out just a bit so it can fit my canvas. You can use your finger to move it around, but I find that my stylus is much more controlled than my finger, so I tend to use that to replace and move it around. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to add another layer because I'm going to add in, it's actually going to do it for me, but I always click an extra layer so I don't mess this up. So I'm going to hit my wrench again, and then I'm going to add text, okay? So I'm going to click that and you can see that my text is already there and it's pink because that's the last color I used. If I don't want it pink, I want it white, I'm going to click that. Now I'm going to show you an easy way to get white. So hit your disc. So at the bottom, sorry, I was on palettes. Down here at the bottom it says disc. The cool thing about the disc is if you double tap in the left hand corner, it automatically changes it to white. If I double tap in the bottom right hand corner, it goes to black. Now everything in between, okay, I can move this around to get colors and it's going to show me up there. But anytime that I want a true white or a true black, I just double tap in the left or double tap in the right. Okay, so I want a true white, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go back over to, whoops, I'm going to click here. And when I click on the box of text, I'm going to change it to say art. Now, I need to edit the style because what I want is one of my really fun fonts that I have purchased. So over here, there's already fonts in here that you can use. I just tend to like a little bit more interesting fonts. So I bought a big package of fonts when they were on sale right before this school year started. So let's go with that one. Oh, sorry. So here I can change the size. Let's say I want it really, really big, but I really can't see it right now, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is drag this to be bigger, and then I can move this around with my stylus. Okay. Now, the thing with this, and what I want to do is erase behind it, but I can't do that when I've added text, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to click the layer that has the word art in it, and I'm going to press that little N. There's a tiny little N. And I want to bring the opacity down. So watch the letters on the canvas as I bring the opacity down. So now I can still, I'm going to go about halfway, because I'm going to delete this layer. I'm actually going to draw on top of this word in order to erase to get the background to show through. There might be an easier way to do this. I don't know what it is, but this is how I do it. So I've got my opacity down so I can see underneath. Now I have to go to layer 2 or add a layer, okay, in order to draw on the canvas. And you don't want to be in this layer. Do not go in this guy. This guy is off limits for right now. So this layer that is completely blank, it does say layer 2 twice, but that's okay. And I'm going to go in here and, am I my brush pen? Nope. So I'm going to go to my brush pen, which I like to write with. And I'm on my white, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline and fill in these words. Because I want that funky font, I can just trace it. And then I'm going to fill it in. Now I'm going to show you an easy way to, whoops, fill in. Wow! I really need to update my iPad, which is why that keeps happening. So over here, I can adjust the brush size. So let's say I need to get into this triangle. I can make my brush size smaller. Now, let's say I have a completely closed off shape. There's no opening. Okay, what I can do is I can go up here and grab this white and drag it into the letter. Boom. Okay, now I'm going to show you what it looks like when I don't. See, I go pretty close, but I'm not all the way there, and I go to drag it. It just covers the whole thing. So all I have to do is just connect those two and make sure that they're connected, and then I need to go around my D inside of my R, and now I can drag it in there, okay? This is a very quick version, and usually I am much more careful. But another cool thing is, like, see how my A line is kind of crooked? All I have to do is drag it and then hold it, and it's gonna make a perfect, because I can move this around now, it's gonna make a perfect line for me. So same with my R, I'm gonna drag it down, hold it, let go, makes a perfect line, drag, hold, drag, hold, drag, hold, okay? I can also do it with curves. You can do it with curves, but I try not to go all the way around because it can get wonky. And then I'll do my T. Now I can go down and over and it'll do it for me, but sometimes I'm just not as good at that. Oops, don't like it. And then I'm gonna fill the space, but I gotta make sure my T's are, top of my T here is connected. And then I just drag, drop. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm gonna go back in here and I'm going to just take off the art. Okay, so you can see it will kind of disappear. See, it's telling me I need to just update my iPad and I haven't done it yet. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the art. I don't need it. I could just delete it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there for now because if I take this art, it's all gone. So now what I want to do is I want to go on to this layer. Nope, not what I want to do. This layer. Yeah, okay. So, sorry, sometimes I have to talk this through myself. Stay on the art, what you just drew, okay? This is the one that you typed in. This is the one that you drew in. Now what I can do is I can click my eraser button, okay? And you can pick different brushes for your eraser too. But I'm gonna keep it on that for right now. So now when I erase in here, I can see my background color. So see, I'm gonna make art a little bit bigger. I'm gonna grab it. Let's go this way so you can kind of see more colors. So when I go to my eraser, I can go in here and just kind of play around because the background color is gonna come through. I've also done this with mandalas before, which is really fun. To erase in the background and see all the colors, but you can kind of just see how I drew in all of those fun little art materials to make this letter really fun. I could do different shapes. You can't fill in the shape, remember it turns white. So this is only just erasing to see through the background. Okay, and so let's say that I love this and I want to merge the layers down. All I'd have to do is tap this art and merge down. Now, once I've merged down, they're stuck, okay? I cannot do the eraser anymore, all right? So that's really when you are done, you know that that layer is exactly how you want it to be and you don't want to mess with it anymore is the only time that you would merge it down. Let's say you're getting to a lot of layers, merge them down when they're finished, but you can't go back in and play with that letter art if you've merged them. Okay, now you can always hit the back button, but once you start working again, it's hard to get it back. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay, so let's say I love it and I want to share it with myself. So I would press share and then the JPEG, and then I could easily airdrop it to my phone to post it online or whatever. Okay. Okay, that's it for today, and I'll try to do another one soon. Okay, bye.